Some people like to play Gears for its campaign or the multiplayer, but in my case, I love to play the Gears of War games for its Horde mode. Hey everybody, Juan here. In this video, you are going to be enjoying some Gears 5 Horde mode gameplay, as it's the one definitive game mode that I love about the game, although I'll be real. I've only dedicated a couple of minutes to the escape mode. I've yet to play the campaign because every time that I get a Gears of War game, what I love to play about it is that Horde mode. It's the cooperative experience to identify how long can you survive, how can you continue to improve. So I'll be talking about that as you enjoy the gameplay. And for context, I do have the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate service, so you're going to be enjoying some footage from my Xbox One X recorded at 1080p, but this is also available on PC, and rest assured, I have played this game in 4K with HDR, and it is absolutely stunning. And if you enjoyed this video or anything else that I'm doing, you can subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and give me a thumbs up. But without further ado, let us talk about the Gears 5 Horde mode. I first fell in love with the Horde modes with Gears of War 3. I have loved games featuring co-op experiences, but with Gears of War 3, it was the perfect combination. You have the enemies that you got to take down, but you're doing it in a group. And not just that, you got to build up your defenses. You got to make sure that they don't get by. You got to get the turrets. You got to upgrade everything. You have to make sure that you're actually pretty good at shooting, getting those satisfying headshots, trying to see how long can you go, and that factor of, man, I can get by just one more wave, always kept me going. The fact that this is part of Xbox Game Pass meant that any friend that has Xbox Game Pass can play with me. And effectively, that's what's happened. A lot of the gameplay footage that you're seeing right now features gameplay from me playing on Xbox One X, but my wife is playing on PC as well as a couple of her friends. And that entire experience is seamless, and it's great because that way it doesn't matter if your friends are playing on PC, on Xbox, everybody's going to enjoy the experience. And I know this is not tied to just Horde mode, but I think when you talk about the Gears 5 multiplayer, which is player versus player, there is that demand, or that preference, at least for me, for controller versus controller, mouse and keyboard versus mouse and keyboard. I've just never been a big fan of the multiplayer in Gears. I don't like the fact that it's a lot of rolling around and using the shotgun and playing against other players. I think that overall, as I continue to play games, I enjoy single-player experiences as well as cooperative experiences, like Left 4 Dead when you're playing against the computer. So that's what I look for when playing Gears 5. The first thing we have to talk about has got to be the difficulty options. When you first go into Horde or Escape, very similar things here. You see beginner, but then all of a sudden you keep going up and up and up, and there are over 6 different difficulty options. I played mostly experienced and advanced. I actually beat the ultimate goal, which is reaching 50 waves in Horde mode. It was very challenging, and it really depends on who your teammates are. I think something like a Horde mode that is fully cooperative, you do benefit from when you play with friends, that you know this one's going to be a support class, this one's going to be focusing on long-range sniper combat. Whereas if you play online, you can have people that are experienced but are not necessarily going to play alongside you. But I do think that it's a very nice incentive that you have so many difficulty options. If you want to have that linear experience of getting to the 50th wave without a lot of challenge, that's an option. But if you want to struggle from the very first wave, if you want to damn near break your controller as you play the Horde mode, just bump that thing up. That's what I did. The moment we beat the experience difficulty, I began to scale it up, and it is definitely a very big change, but I like that. One of the key features about the Horde mode has to be the Fabricator. For those that don't know, that's the box that you have to pick up as a team and place in a very specific spot. That's where you go to buy your turret, to buy your weapons locker, and even weapons themselves. And I love the fact that you have to decide that as a team. Either one person can pick it up at the beginning of the session, or 2 people can pick it up, but things will not begin unless you place that, and afterwards, you have to decide, are we going to stick around the Fabricator so we have access to future items, or are we going to go farther away from it? And giving my overall impressions on the Horde mode, I'm a really big fan of it. I think it satisfies all of my Horde mode needs. I think that this is definitely going to be a thing I go back to time and time again. Maybe not every day, because this requires a lot of time investment. When we reach the 50th wave, we must have easily been playing around 2 hours, if not more. Some of these waves, I think it was like the 20th wave, I recorded a full clip, and that alone was around 4.5 minutes. That was just one wave, so imagine how long it takes to get to wave 50 and survive. But that also makes you strategize a lot more. It's almost like you're talking about a raid in an MMO, right? You're going into this entire experience, you know this is not going to be 20 minutes, but if you're somebody with a short attention span, honestly, maybe escape is a little bit more for you, because even though I love this and I've dedicated multiple hours to the Horde mode, I've taken my 1 to 2 day break because it's so exhausting, especially once you do beat one and you're like, okay, let's take a bit of a breather and then we're going to come right back to it. Some things that are not directly tied to the Horde mode, but are things that I love about the game, is the rolling mechanics. I think that every little aspect about the character movement has felt a lot more fluid. Before, especially in Gears 3, and I know we had other games since then, I did have the problem that whenever I tried to go into cover, sometimes I wouldn't reach the specific area that I wanted to get to. But here, I think that's really fine. Plus, whenever you want to roll around, I thought that before it was very stiff, and now it feels like one solid fluid animation. Something else that I really like about the Horde mode is that even though everybody, generally speaking, has access to very similar weapons, everybody has just a little bit something different, whether it be an ability, like you can see enemies behind walls, so that way you can strategize better. Some people have increased aim for a temporary amount of time. And then when you talk about the support classes, those people can not only build things like turrets and weapon storage units that slowly replenish ammo, they can actually upgrade those as well. So there is this teamwork element of, well, maybe some of us have to stay back a little bit to make sure that the base is good to go, that everything maintains its health, its armor, its ammo. And another thing that I love, although I have not used the class, is that there's this little cute robot that people can use. So instead of directly attacking units the way you would playing as Marcus or any other character, this robot can actually go around and heal teammates, paralyze enemies. Not only can you level up overall, you can actually level up each character individually. And I'm talking about the Horde mode. This does not include escape and everything else, so Gears 5 is an entire world. But the character that I've been playing as, I love the fact that he's the support character, but he had this weapon that when you started, the recoil was so bad that you just hit the trigger and the gun would be all over the place. But I was able to get an upgrade where the recoil was reduced by 70%. That gun went from being my least favorite to being one of my top 5 because a lot of enemies have that gun, so I can quickly replenish some of the ammo, go right back, and actually get a couple of headshots. With Gears, you can go on this for the campaign, for the multiplayer, for the Horde mode, for escape, or all of the above. And if you're like me and you have Xbox Game Pass, you're not paying anything additionally for that. Plus, if you have Ultimate, you actually get access to a couple of things. We have Terminator characters, we have Halo characters, you can unlock costumes. We can talk about this for endless amounts of hours, but that's why I wanted to do this video, because personally, I do think that I am going to be going back time and time again to Gears 5. You can't expect some streams down the line. I think this is my video game comfort food. I must have easily dedicated over 100 hours to the Gears 3 Horde mode, and I fully expect to do the same with Gears 5. I don't know if I can play it every single day because getting to the 50th wave is very hard. I think the last example I can bring up is that my wife and a couple of friends were playing a couple of days ago, and we got around to the 22nd wave, and we ended up dying, not because we were doing bad, but we were kind of burnt out. We have played a lot of Horde mode, and it's like, hey, we do have other video games that we enjoy playing, so inevitably that ended up happening, which I guess it's fine if you're playing with friends, but we were playing with another player, another random player, and that person must have been pissed off because it's like, what the hell? We're all doing great. All of a sudden you die and leave? What is going on here? But please, if you're watching this video and you have played Gears 5, I would love to know, what do you think about the Horde mode? At the same time, if there's anything else you would like me to talk about the game, or if I stream down the line, maybe I do check out the campaign. I do fully intend on playing it at some point, but honestly, it seems like every time I pop in Gears 5, it automatically just scrolls down to the Horde mode option, and I try to go in there because I want to keep leveling up my character. But if you enjoyed this video and you like other things that I do in the channel, such as talking about the Wii U, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 2, please consider hitting that subscribe button and help me reach 2,000 subscribers, hitting that notifications bell, that is very important because otherwise you're going to be seeing my face every now and then in the thumbnails, but maybe not in your newsfeed. So hitting that notifications bell really helps, as well as hitting that thumbs up. So up until next time, thank you for watching and supporting. Consider checking out the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate video if you haven't, and take care, everybody.